Well, the YouTuber's Alex here, and today I'm just going to show you what you should do to prepare for iOS 7 and what devices I think will be supported and what devices I think will be limited or phased out altogether. Okay, first, it's how will you get early access to iOS 7. Now, the way to do this is to get your device's unique device identification number or registered. Now, to do this through Apple, it's very expensive because you need to develop your account, and it can cost up to about $100 US. Now, on this website, which is on screen, it's UDID registrations.com. Up till the 10th of June, which is the date of WWDC, it's the day iOS 7 will be revealed, you can actually get $2 off the price. So in the UK, this is about £3, and if you do it on or after the 10th of June, it'll be about £1.30 more expensive. So even though it's only a minor saving, of course you could use it to get an app and see if it works on iOS 7. This website here, they also allow you to sign custom IPAs to the iPhone if you get the right type of package. So it's basically the equivalent of a jailbreak, but you sort of write or get hold of the apps yourself. And finally, support. What devices will iOS 7 work with? Now, I'm going to tell you what I think will be and might be. Now, the 3GS out, I see that the 3GS will be gone. It will not have iOS 7 6.1.4, or if anything comes out after that, will be its last update. The CPU and the RAM are just too low. It's got a 600 MHz single core ARM Cortex CPU, and it's only got 256 megabytes of RAM. I think that is too slow for iOS these days, and that will be gone. The iPhone 4, you might get a very limited support with the A4 chip and 800 MHz single core and half a gig of RAM. That is sufficient. It will do the trick. You know, you can do it in a low spec Android phone. You could get a new version of Android on a lower spec device, so I don't see how Apple couldn't do that. I think the iPhone 4 will still be supported, but with very limited support. Now, the iPhone 4S, that will definitely have it because it's only a year old currently. Even though it is approaching 2 years, currently it's only 1 year. And they might phase out a couple of things because it'll be 2 generations old by the time the next iPhone comes out. So the 4S will be like the iPhone 4 on iOS 6. It will support it mainly, but there will be a few things missing and it might slow down a little bit. So the iPhone 4S is of course dual core with A5, and it's also 800 MHz. It still has half a gig of RAM, but the dual core is what makes the difference. It's like having 2 CPUs, so it will definitely support iOS 7, but it might be fairly limited. Now the iPhone 5 should be supported with everything, gigabyte of RAM, dual core CPU at 1.3 GHz. It should support pretty much everything in iOS 7, apart from new software features that Apple adds to the iPhone 5S. Now the iPods. The iPod Touch 4th Gen is very similar to the 3GS. It's got the A4 800 MHz single core chip and a quarter of a gig of RAM. I think that this it could go either way. It might not support iOS 7, it might. And if it does, it will support hardly anything. It will just have bug fixes and a few new features. And they'll phase it out very quickly. The iPod Touch 5th Gen, of course, is brand new. So they'll probably put it through with nearly everything. Half gig of RAM and a dual core 800 MHz CPU. It will probably have what the iPhone 4S has. And the iPad 2, although powerful, it probably won't support quite a lot of stuff in iOS 7 because it is getting old now. They'll probably want to optimise more stuff for the Retina display iPads. So the iPad 3, it might support a bit more than the iPad 2, despite it having the same CPU architecture, even though the graphics card is more powerful. And it also has 1 gig of RAM, the iPad 2 having half a gig. And the iPad 4, obviously, it'll support everything. So that's what I think. So I hope you listen to this carefully. So basically, the only people I would warn to stay away from this registration completely is iPhone 3GS users. I think your time is up, and I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about that. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you again in the next one. I will most likely be showing you the features in iOS 7 because I have an iPhone 5 I will be able to update. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.